amazing and critically important work. I just want to, thank everyone who put this incredible event together, but especially the journalists who put so much heart and hard work into every single one of those stories. Is so evident. As it's been talked about tonight, I mean, one of the most meaningful things to me was after this announcement came out, I got to talk to so many of my colleagues who knew Anthony, who he had, people he had inspired, people he had mentored, and just like we saw in this video, they talked about how he would bristle when people called him a war reporter. And he would say, I report on people, and sometimes war is in the background. And that just hit me in the gut, because that was exactly what my editor, Linda Robinson, and I had set out to do, these stories about child sex trafficking. We wanted to tell stories about real children. We know that the vast majority of child sex trafficking, what it really looks like in America is a kid who is already vulnerable in some way. Maybe their foster home is overcrowded, or their mom is struggling with addiction. One girl you saw the picture of was literally just moved out of a shelter, and she wanted money for snacks after school. Then someone comes in and they coerces them by filling their needs, and earning their trust. And only then does the exploitation begin. But we don't typically hear about those kids. We hear the anonymous, sensationalized stories of parking lot kidnappings and stranger danger and myths that really have no basis in reality. And it's because of these misunderstandings that the systems that are put in place to help these kids, and even our good intentions in what we share on Facebook, those things often end up causing more harm to the very kids who have already been through so much. So this work tells those stories, not only by showing the failures of those systems, but by letting readers get to know 3 very real teenage girls who bore the consequences of those failures. 3 girls who are so much more than victims: a poet on the honor roll, a Michael Jackson-loving cheerleader, an aspiring lawyer. And so I just want to pause and acknowledge them and their families who let me in, to Alexis, to Kay, to Samara. Thank you. I also need to so deeply thank my editor, Linda Robinson, who is there for every moment when I don't know what the right thing to do is. She makes it possible for me to do these stories with the time and the care and the thoughtfulness that they deserve. I want to thank managing editor Krista Thompson, who I always say is my journalism moral compass, and photojournalists Bonnie Jo Mount and Sarah Boysen, whose incredible photography told these stories for me. There are so many people who made me the person and the journalist I am today, and who particularly got me through this work. Indiana University's Tom and Kelly French and Jim Kelly, my chosen sisters, Lexi Milan, Natasha Knapnat, and Katie Metler, who's here, a fierce reporter, but somehow an even fiercer friend. My parents, Ken and Peggy Contrera, who are a constant example to me and my brothers of what it means to live a life in service of others. And I want to thank my partner of 12 years, Joe, who every day, and sometimes in the middle of the night, carries the weight of these stories with me. And this is where I wrote, I should probably lighten the mood by thanking my dog. No, I mean, it's complicated. So many of you know, standing up here too, in a moment like this, when you know that, so much, the reason that the things that brought you here were bearing witness to so much injustice and so much pain. And for all the impact that these stories made, as we sit here, sex trafficking victim Alexis Martin is in Ohio in a prison cell. Las Vegas still finds teenagers who are being sold for sex and arrests them and puts them in jail. And the conspiracy theories and the sensationalized stories still spreading. But I think that is why I am most grateful to have this connection to Anthony, who wrote about people. And when those stories published, the conflict didn't end, the suffering didn't stop, but he kept going back and he kept trying, and I will too. Thank you.